Yo! What's going on? How are you? I hope you're good. We are in the middle of making this movie right now. It's this horror comedy skit about this guy. He's a lake monster, and he comes up out of the lake and he kidnaps some teenagers, and all kinds of shenanigans ensue. And I wanted to include a cool title card. I saw this as an opportunity to do something that I've been wanting to do for years, and that is to recreate, or at least approximate, something similar to the title card from John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, we here on the channel are big fans of that movie. We did a little spoof of that movie years ago. It was kind of Among Us meets The Thing in space, and I played Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell! Objection!
Anybody else? It's a charming little project, but for that project, I had a very similar idea. You know, I thought we ought to recreate that title sequence. But I, for whatever reason at the time, just decided to do it digitally in After Effects, which I had a pirated copy of After Effects at the time. It turned out good the way I did it back then, but it definitely looks digital. And these days I am all about just the imperfections of doing things practically and doing things, you know, the retro way. And that's kind of the whole aesthetic of this movie. It's an homage to those old, you know, something you'd see on TV at 2 a.m. in like the 90s or the 80s. Real grainy and real all practical effects, guy in a rubber suit kind of thing, you know. So we're gonna do it again, and this time totally practically similar to the way they would have done it back in the 80s. First thing, I needed to design a title card. The name of the movie is Attack of the Scary Thing from the Dangerous Lake. It's kind of a mouthful. It's a lot of words. So it was definitely a challenge to cram all those words onto a legible, cool-looking logo. I knew I wanted it to look kind of handwritten. You know, a lot of those old classic horror logos are that kind of brushstroke thing, you know, it looks like it was scrawled in blood or something. So the first title card I did was for the teaser that we just released a couple of days ago as of recording this.
Attack of the Scary Thing from the Dangerous Lake.
And for that, I was more specifically recreating the font of the Texas Chainsaw 3 logo.
Leatherface. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
And I thought the best way to make it look like it's liquid or like it's paint is just to paint it. So I painted, this was my first attempt right here. And that worked out all right for the teaser, but I knew that for the movie I was gonna want something a little more bold and striking, where the words fit together more interestingly than this. So this was my second attempt at the title, which I thought was much more, it looks more like a logo, you know, it's just more legible and more striking. I like stacking Scary Thing of the Scary Thing from them. So I took a picture of what I painted. I pulled it into my image editing software, which I just use GIMP. It's a free like Photoshop alternative, and I put what's called a threshold effect on it, which turns every pixel in the image to either stark black or stark white. Threshold effects are really cool because you can decide exactly where the threshold is, where the pixels go black or white, right? You can determine the minimum amount of darkness that will cause a pixel to lean all the way over into stark black. I assume that's why it's called that. Super handy tool, I use it all the time. But that just allows us to simplify everything down so it's just the outline of the words. And then from there I was able to move a couple of the letters around and resize some things just to make everything look a little more balanced and even, because I did not get it perfect when I painted it, but that's okay. And then I just straight up traced the computer screen to get a tangible real world recreation of the logo. So there's that's done. I'm gonna tape these pages together. It's not gonna be perfect, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. Okay, look at that, there it is. And then one by one, I cut out each of the letters in the title to get kind of a stencil. So I'm realizing embarrassingly late that I can't just have it be a cutout, because I'm gonna have to fill in the holes of certain letters, the A and the D and those sorts of things. So I'm just gonna put it all on plexiglass, which I think is what they did in the original anyway. That just adds another layer of like dealing with reflections and things like that I was nervous about, but maybe it won't be a problem. We'll see. And if it is, we'll find a solution. Okay, so here we are. I stuck the cutout onto the plexiglass. I ended up painting it all black to try to prevent as much light from shining through it as possible. You know, because we're gonna be shining a light from behind it, and I don't want any of that light to get through the black part. So I think I put like 3 layers of just acrylic paint on there, and I think that'll do the job. I needed a way to black out the whole surface area of the plexiglass. So I know this is kind of goofy, but I just painted more sheets of cardstock, and I'm gonna just paste them all around and try to black out the whole thing. So we'll see how that goes. And I just finished cutting out all of the little holes for the letters that have little floaty bits in there, and so I'm gonna stick those in, and that'll complete the words. So yeah, wish me luck. Okay, so it's pretty much in its finished form. I blacked out all the rest of the plexiglass, and as you can see, I think the idea is coming across. I think we're about ready to shoot it. So I think the plan is tomorrow night we're gonna go fill up Daniel's garage with smoke and burn plastic. And it's gonna be loads of fun. So the next night we all met up at Daniel's house and started setting up the shot in the garage here. What are you doing? I'm taping a trash bag onto this picture frame. So we got the whole thing set up. We put that light behind the cutout, so it was shining through the letters. And the idea is to use that trash bag to block the light from shining through until we burn the bag, and then the light is revealed. But the light was just shining straight through that trash bag. We're getting a lot of spillage, right? So that means we're gonna want a lot of trash bags. So we ended up doubling up and just using 2 of those trash bags. That seemed to be plenty. Maybe we try it with 2. So here I had the idea to use a little bit of diffusion to make the light just a little bit less intense and kind of spread out across the entirety of the letters. Though once we blew the smoke in, I quickly realized that diffusion was actually blocking those rays of light from peeking through. So I ended up changing it up a little bit. This looks promising. That looks promising. We're gonna blow some smoke in and we're gonna see what it looks like. Okay. Go from there. So right here, I decided to remove that diffusion, and all of a sudden, those rays of light start shining through.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah, okay,
Dude, look at that.
Dude, that's the look.
Oh my.
That's the look. Yeah. There it is. So I ended up just moving the diffusion to behind the light, so it just kind of shined up onto it, and ended up having a similar effect where it lit up the whole background across the length of the letters. That's so fucking cool. Wow, this is exactly the vibe.
Yeah.
Right?
What of
the film.
Yeah.
It's like goosebumpsy kind of.
Okay, guys, one thing you want to do is whenever you're burning anything, you don't want to do it indoors, just like we're doing it here, because you could start a fire, and we've got enough people here to supervise this fire. We've got a fire extinguisher here. We've got Joel aura posing over there. His aura is keeping the fire down. But you just want to be professional and think twice, because at your parents' house or wherever you do this, they may not have trash bag fire insurance or arson insurance, so just be careful. Yeah. And we don't condone you doing this at home at all. What? Just be safe.
Can you just be serious for 1 second?
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Are you a little nervous?
Yeah. I am. So I think we're ready to go ahead and do our first take. We got Daniel over there operating the smoke. He's gonna be doing that. I hope that works. I'm gonna just chill right here, and I'm gonna light it up. I'm gonna try lighting it from the middle, let it go, and see what happens.
Do you think this is safe? Do you feel good about it?
So on this first take, there were 3 big problems that became immediately apparent to me. The first being that the lighter was just about out of juice, and I was really struggling to actually light the trash bag at all. And by the time I did get it lit, the smoke had already kind of dissipated. The smoke machine can only run for so long before it shuts down and has to reheat for a little while. So by the time the bag was up in flames, the smoke had already completely run out. So that's the second big problem. Then the third, because we doubled up on the trash bags, they weren't burning together. They were burning independently of each other at different times. So by the time both of them were gone, the smoke was gone, and we didn't get any of those rays of light shining through. And it was all too slow.
Did that go well?
Yeah, that didn't go terribly. That was the middle of the road.
Or smoke ran out halfway through.
That's really the problem.
Yeah.
Everything else worked though. So we decided to give it another go. And this one went pretty smoothly. I made sure that when I lit the bag this time, I lit both layers together from the same place, so they kind of burned together much quicker. It was here though when the lighter just completely gave out on me, so we switched over to matches, the good old-fashioned way, So honestly, the thing that killed this take was the smoke. No hate to Daniel. Daniel was doing a great job, but there's just too much. It just completely overwhelmed the whole title, and it was just inconsistent. It's like a lot of smoke would come in, and then it'd all go away, and then another puff of smoke would come in, and it just wasn't smooth enough.
I'm not gonna lie, we might have to scrap this one. Keep going.
You sure?
I mean, might as well, right? I mean, we might have a cool ending on this one.
Also, the first one was better.
It was just faster.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the next go around, we had a new dilemma, that being that we were running out of trash bags. So we had to be really intentional about our, every burn really had to count. So we came up with the idea to have Reese hold one of the bags over the light, to block the light out from shining through the words. And then as the main trash bag burned away, Reese would lift the other one away from the light and reveal the light shining through. So that way we only had to burn through one layer per take. And that worked quite well. We only did 2 takes with that method, and we ended up getting one that I think really nailed it. Smoke. Not a lot. Stop.
That was pretty good.
So I actually ended up combining 2 of the takes we had gotten. I really liked this one, and I like those beams of light that you can see shining out from the letters there. I really wanted to keep those rays. I wanted to make that obvious, but unfortunately in this take you can kind of see the words get lost a little bit in the haze of the smoke. So I took this other take where there isn't nearly as much smoke in front of the camera, and you can see the letters much clearer, and I actually just composited that on top of the one with all of the smoke. So it's kind of best of both worlds, right? The actual letters that you're seeing are from one take, and then the smoke behind it is from another take. And this is what it looks like composited together. And then I color graded that to make it pop. I know it's been looking a little dull up to this point, but really trying to go for that 80s movie blue. You know that 80s blue? That's what we're trying to do here. And so here's the shot that this whole title is going to be overlaid on top of. It's just a shot of that car driving down the road there. And then here's that clip with the color grade. And then I just overlaid the title right there on top of that clip. And the way I did that, I set the clip with all the fog and the rays of light to a screen blend mode, which just means all the darkest bits of the image disappear. They become transparent, the darker they are, so that all we're left with there are the bright parts of the image, the blue and the smoke. And on the other clip, the one that's mainly just the words, I used what's called a luminance keyer, which basically does the same thing. It just makes the darker parts of the image disappear. But the nice thing about a luminance keyer is that you can control the threshold, kind of like the threshold effect from earlier in the video. You can control the threshold at which everything falls off into transparency, right? So rather than it just gradually falling off, like with the screen blend mode, you have more control and you can be more specific about exactly which point the darkness is dark enough that it becomes transparent. Does that make sense? And then on top of the whole thing, I slapped a film emulation on there. My favorite trick in my toolbox. About a year ago, I was able to finally purchase this wonderful film emulation plugin called Dehancer. It's about the best thing on the market. But after dialing everything in and taking some creative liberties, I was able to get it looking just the right amount of grainy. Just grainy and fuzzy, like it was just shot on a crappy 16mm camera, or, you can see it jittering around there a little bit. You can see the color kind of shifting. All the lovely, unstable, crappy beauty of old film, the way it would have been shot in the 80s. And in the end, this is what it turned out looking like. I think we captured the spirit of the original title from The Thing. I think it has its own style, it has its own flair to it, but no doubt a little wink and a nod to one of the classics, one of our favorite movies here at the Fruit Jar. I really love how practical and imperfect it looks. There is just no way to make something look like that in a computer. You have to go out there and do it for real. And I really think that comes across on screen when you watch it. So.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Christ!
What are you doing?
Just recycling. What is it?
Why do you have that? Were you going to throw this away?
Yeah, we were done with it. I mean,
No, we're not done with it. Because we're giving it away! Listen, for one lucky Fruit Jar fan, in the description of this video, there's a link. There's a link to our Discord server, Daniel. There's a link to our Discord server. And if you go to that Discord server, there's a giveaway channel where we're going to be giving this away. What is this, you ask? This is a 1-of-1 piece of Fruit Jar memorabilia, Attack of the Scary Thing from the Dangerous Lake title sequence that we use. This is screen used title sequence. There's a piece of artwork on the back. I know you're salivating at the mouth because you want this so badly. Listen, if you want to win this, let's recap real quick, okay, Daniel? Let's recap. In the link in the description of this video, there's a link to our Discord server. In that Discord server, there's a giveaway channel, and if you go to that channel, you can have a chance to win this. Okay? Are you gonna enter? I sure hope so, because this would be really cool to have. If I would want this. I want this right now, but I can't because I'm giving it away.
Are you? You can't enter.
It's okay. I don't want it. We can
Yeah.
give it away.
Okay.
Bye, Daniel.
Bye, Reese.
Thank you so much for hanging out, for watching, for coming along this journey. I hope you were inspired. Go out and do something like this yourself. It's a lot of fun. The movie is coming along. It'll be on this channel very, very soon. We're just tweaking some things and getting those final post-production details finalized. So you can expect to see this guy on screen very, very soon. It's fun, it's goofy and silly, but I think you guys will like it. And if you want to hang out with us, we do live streams on this channel every Saturday night around 10 Eastern Standard Time. So tune in and just chill with us on Saturdays. We also have a podcast that we do every Sunday on our Patreon for only $1 a month. So get in on that. We talk about movies and making movies, and we talk about all sorts of things. So check that out. That's all I got for you. Thanks so much.